Hey Roy, super happy to have you here today.
Morning, Marie. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. As I already mentioned, I love your background with your gramophone and the whole setup you got going on there.
Yeah, my partner's a bit of a plant fiend, so everywhere
Ah,
in the house there's
uh-huh.
a just opposite from me there's a full tropical collection of plants. So yeah,
Amazing. Yeah.
yeah, and a
Plants.
gramophone. Actually.
Yeah. Plants make a big difference. It's like they give life to your home and warmth and all that good stuff. So that's really great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they're a labor of love.
Yeah. Really cool. All right, Roy. So I know a little bit about you, but I also want to kind of explore a little bit more for people who haven't met you, who's new to maybe you and this podcast, and maybe both. And I think this will be the sixth episode of this podcast, so
Well,
it's really cool, and I'm excited to meet all these beautiful people. So welcome
thank
to
you.
this space. Yeah,
It's an honor to be here.
yeah.
Thank you.
It's an honor to have you. So where should we start? Do you want to explore your journey a little bit, how you got here, or should we just
Yeah,
jump
yeah,
right into? Yeah, okay.
yeah, we can do that. Yeah,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is a
yeah.
bit of an intro. So my spiritual journey before all this kind of kicked off, I was living just a normal life, on the career path,
Mm-hmm.
looking forward to holidays, all this kind of thing, and then that was rudely interrupted probably 5 years ago. Before that, I had done some hypnosis and things like that to quit habits that I had.
Mm.
But yeah, the spiritual awakening kind of stirred around COVID time, I would say.
Okay.
Um, and things just stopped making sense for me anymore. I had this wonderful life around me, and I was going on these wonderful holidays, ticking off my bucket list. But the dread of coming back, I used holidays as an escape, but the dread of coming back to this normal life then was
Mm.
just too much.
Mm.
So it's quite weird how it came about, actually, all of that, because I had said for a long time I don't want to be in this job anymore. And I'd had suicidal thoughts and things like that because I really just did not identify with this life I had. Um, and yeah, the pressure just got worse and worse. And eventually I took some time off work. Um, and yeah, I worked for this billion-pound turnover company. And while I was on the sick, they went under. So they ceased their operations. So even though it was a weird situation because I decided, yes, I'll go back. I need the money. And I remember saying it was a Thursday, I don't remember the date. The words just poured out to me, I don't know how I'm going to do this. And literally that night, the news broke that the company had gone under.
Wow.
So I was like, this is my sign. I don't need to go back to work. So yeah.
Wow. I'm getting goosebumps all over. That's just
Yeah,
such,
there's lots of strange things that have happened. I've kind of skipped through quite a few years there, but
of course.
yeah, things happen and you can't explain them in any way. It's just like
Mm.
you just have to accept them, don't you?
Yeah. But I really appreciate you describing that kind of feeling of dread and even pushing yourself so far as to get into like suicidal thoughts because I think that a lot of people can relate to that.
Yeah,
That's something that we don't talk about so much in society. Like you're not supposed to talk about the fact that you want to end your life, right? Or that you see no other way out than to, how can I escape this essentially? And I think it's just so many people who go through that and possibly are going through that right now, that really darkness, that like depth of depression. And yet you have to show up every day to work and, put on that smile and kind of, you don't see that there is a way out of that, kind of continual churning away at life, right? And so I think it's important to just lift that a little bit and say that essentially, in my experience, every single person that I speak to before that kind of big opening, this is where they find themselves in the darkness.
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah, without a doubt. And I had a friend of mine um, who I was trying to help, who was a little. He was kind of in the on the path that I had been on maybe a couple of years ago, but
mm.
sadly he just didn't see a way out. So I kind of relived that whole moment of my life in that moment. So yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's really sad because we're taught in society to just keep pushing and pushing and pushing,
Mm,
and yeah, sometimes it just gets too much, doesn't it? And there's
absolutely.
no other way out. So,
Right. And
or we
then
can,
something beautiful happens, which in the moment seems like a catastrophe, you know.
yeah,
It's absolutely horrible, and at the same time, that's like your gateway out into something new. And it's scary, and you feel like it's the unknown. You don't know what to do. Like you had this big life skill, right? You worked a lot in project management, and so
yeah,
what do you do now? Like there's just this big black open void of emptiness of potentiality, but also extremely like
yeah. It's a really stressful point to be at because you
yeah.
just, especially if you've got things, money obviously comes into it, especially if
Yes.
you've got like a lifestyle you need to maintain
Mm-hmm.
for that just to go.
Mm-hmm.
But then when that happened to me, I didn't stress about money. I kind of, I was at ease. I'd got rid of all the luxury things I had in my life by that point,
Mm.
over a matter of months. So it just all fell. It's strange how it fell into place because I got rid of my car and bought a cheap car, and I stopped lots of outgoings that I had, and then it all kind of materialized. So.
Right.
But that was unconscious of me doing that. I wasn't consciously saying I'm
I'm
out here.
preparing for this, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, I know. It's so interesting that as you're describing, when it is that moment for that big change to happen, it's almost as if someone else is coming in and like guiding you, right?
yeah,
And just showing you, like whispering in your ear, saying, it's maybe time to sell that car. And you're, oh, okay,
yeah,
I'm gonna sell the car.
yeah. It's wild.
And then all these other things. So it's like what I find so fascinating is like when you look back on that journey of change, everything fell into place so perfectly, and we didn't even organize it ourselves. It's
No,
as if this some other force came in and organized this like exit from whatever, perceived hell that we felt that we were in.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I did skip through that spiritual journey bit, but
Yeah.
another one of these instances that started me on this spiritual journey. At the time, I was in my work, drinking heavily,
Mm,
doing drugs, whatever, just trying to do anything to like numb myself.
yeah.
But I was suffering really badly with social anxiety. So I was going to a Christmas party. I never went to social events at work because I always felt really anxious.
Mm,
Um, but I decided I'd made all the excuses. I need to go to this time. So I got on the bus and I just searched the word social anxiety on Spotify.
mm,
And a podcast came up, which I listened to. It took me around 30 minutes to get to the Christmas party. And when I got off that bus, it was about social anxiety, but it was much bigger, like spiritual. I'd never experienced anything like this before. And I had a fantastic night, and that started me on this spiritual journey because I ended up in a community through that. So
mm,
that one event really
mm,
was like the turning point for me.
mhm. You know what I love about that is in that moment when you decided to face your fear of going to a social gathering, in this case, the Christmas party, as you're like pushing through that fear, the universe opens up and gives you a podcast that you
Yeah,
can listen to help you through that fear, right? But we have to take the first step, right? We have to say, okay, fine, I'm getting on the bus, right?
yeah,
And then,
Literally on the bus, yeah.
yeah, literally on the bus, once you decided, okay, I'm moving towards this fear, then on the bus, you get to start to experience something different in life. Something opens up that like invites new people into your life, a new community, a new way of thinking, a new way of feeling, and a new way of being, right?
Yeah,
It's so incredible. I think it's like what that squeeze does, like that depression, fear, anxiety squeeze that we have when we feel just like complete darkness. Like some people refer to it as the dark night of the soul, right? I'm sure a lot of people have heard that.
yeah,
That squeeze that we're feeling, I think it's actually pushing us towards our fear, finally facing the fear of like our mortality, of our, how we're living, our like demons, and like you were mentioning drinking and like trying to numb yourself, right? Because
yeah,
I think we feel like we try to numb ourselves for the longest time, and then one day it doesn't work anymore.
yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about this recently, actually. I used to unconsciously numb myself, and I do still numb myself to
Mm,
certain ways now, but I
mm.
do it in a conscious way. I'm
Yeah,
aware if I sit down and watch 10 hours of Netflix, I'm
yeah,
very aware of why I'm doing that.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah. And I think that's a really powerful place to be because I was very much like a mole came to me then, just blind and in the darkness all the time and
Mm,
not knowing which way to go. So
I know, I know. It's and it's tough because as we're going through it, we feel like we're alone. We feel
oh
like we're
yeah,
the only one in the entire world that's going through this, and it's
yeah.
happening to us, and it's terrifying. It's like it feels like it's tearing your whole being apart, and you don't know what to do.
And nobody else understands.
Nobody else understands.
Yeah,
They're like, well, just get up, shower. Okay, if it was
yeah,
that easy, like, my soul is trying to come out, so it's not a showering problem solution situation, It's bigger than that. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And also, like you said, you're completely blind. You don't have the experience of being able to see or being able to perceive that there could potentially be something else out there.
No,
Yeah.
no, I never believed that. I
Yeah.
always call myself, well, I call myself agnostic atheist.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Mm.
but I never had any belief in anything really.
Yeah. And isn't it amazing then? Then this whole other world opens up. That's quite difficult to explain, especially to folks that haven't experienced what you have experienced and what other people along with you have experienced, that kind of opening into another world, right? But all of a
Yeah,
sudden, you start to see the light.
yeah, it's really challenging because you the way it kind of felt was I'd lost my old identity and I had absolutely no idea what my new identity was because I'd never lived in this space.
Hmm.
So it was like it was just like being like in no man's land, just completely lost.
Yeah.
But then at the beginning of my spiritual journey, it was very exciting. I was learning all of these new things and
Yeah.
joining this course and this community and reading this book, wherever. But then it got to a point where any I started to receive guidance, I would say, in um, through my intuition or in meditation, I would get things, and then suddenly that fell silent. Um, and I just thought, what's happening? Where am I now? Where do I go? But I scratched around for a long time and then did some research, and that part of the journey is called the void.
Hmm.
So, yeah, basic. And then I started learning about this divine feminine and everything, which
Hmm.
I think I'm jumping around you, so you might have to rein me in and keep me on course.
No, absolutely
But
not. This is amazing.
yeah, so the void then is where so you go through this, you're like you don't know what's going on, then you think, oh, I've got kind of got an idea now. I'm set for life. I've done all the work and I'm perfect. And I can move on happily. And then it hits you like a train, and you're like, shit, I don't know where to go or what to do.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, it's so beautiful because we all go through that too.
Yeah,
And it's so to me it's so amazing that each and every individual goes on this journey through these different phases as you're explaining so beautifully, and we still feel like it took me the longest time to realize, not until I was like much further along, that oh wait, like this is happening to everyone else too. I wasn't alone at all. There was like probably hundreds of thousands or millions of people going through that same kind of journey with me at the same time, completely unaware of each other.
yeah,
Yeah, it's not until you kind of start to move through some other deeper phases where you start to come in contact with yourself and deepen that intuition as you were talking about, that you start to realize, and then slowly people start to come into your life, right? That can mirror this back to you, and you're like, oh, okay, so there's a lot of us.
yeah.
That's like a fun experience too, right?
Well, that's the power of community as well, isn't it? Like for me, before any of this happened, I used to, as I said, I used to drink a lot.
Mm.
I was on Facebook arguing with people. That's what I used Facebook for. I didn't realize how much good there was there. And then when I started on this journey, I joined groups, and I'm in loads and loads of groups now, all kind of similar things or stuff that I want to learn about. And
Nice.
just the power of that community, and the for you to feel safe to be able to put yourself out into that community
Mm.
is just really powerful, I think.
Yeah, yeah. You know what's really amazing, what you just described? It's like you have this world over here, that is, material and going to work and buying things, taking vacations and so on and so forth. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just that
No,
that's one world, right? Where we live, and we're kind of unaware that there anything else exists. And then there's this big gap in between. And then here's this other world that has like, a deep connection to your guidance. It knows that there's a universal field that you can really tap into. It's fully aware that there's many other people around the world who feels the same way. And the trick is to, like, when you're ready, figure out how to jump from this side to this side. And there's this like deep abyss in between here, right? And this
yeah,
world over here is completely unaware that this world even exists.
yeah. And the crazy thing is, you can't fully jump from this world to that world either. You need to kind of keep going over,
Yes. Yes.
because we're here to experience this life and
Yeah.
this, yeah.
Yeah.
And as you say, there's certainly people in my life who are not on this journey at all,
Hmm.
family members and things. So
Sure.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
we
kind of
all have
keeping
that.
one foot in each.
Yeah, you are. But I guess what I was trying to talk to is that, the awareness of the two worlds. So it's like when you were talking about the new communities and the new experience
Oh yeah,
that you're having, it's like you're completely now aware that there exists it's another reality,
yeah,
right? So even though you jump back into the previous reality a lot, we all do. We're just like, okay, I gotta go grocery shopping now. Hey, gotta call
yeah,
my, uncle who's, completely unaware of and so on. So you do, of course, bridge those worlds, but the awareness that you're having that this new piece of you that you're rediscovering exists, that's what's really beautiful.
oh, it really is. Yeah, yeah, and to experience it with other people as well.
Yeah.
I've done lots of weekend events and things like that where it just reinforces thing. Well, does it? So for me, you kind of understand that we're all connected, we're all energetic and
Hmm.
conscious beings, and you I've had experiences on these events where you feel that.
Yeah. And when something popped up into my to my awareness as you were talking about that, all my life I was deeply yearning and craving deep and meaningful conversations, right? So I would kind of initiate conversations with people that I was close to, maybe close friends and so on, and really wanted to kind of dig into the depth of life. Where
Yeah,
are we here? What, like really kind of move into that space. And I found for the longest time that very few people wanted to join me there. They were just kind of like, when I get to a certain point, they were just like, yeah, we're never gonna know. Hee hee, like, and now I feel like I'm finally at, in a place where I have many people around me that are willing to have these conversations with me, like we're having one now, to explore, what is life really? What are we here to do? Like, what are the, how can we figure this out together? And how can we and actually the experience in my body when I speak to you now is that I experience that energy from you.
yeah,
And that's the energy that I've been craving my whole life. That energy of like a feeling like somebody understands you, feeling like they're willing to go beneath all the surface layers and really kind of figuring out like who we are.
yeah, yeah. It's I'm the same actually. I never really, even though I numbed myself for my whole life, I always believed that there was something more for me.
Hmm.
I never believed that this was just the life.
Hmm.
Although I was a workaholic for a certain amount of time, and yeah, I just buried myself in that. But then once that kind of cloud came up, and then as you say, meeting people as well,
Hmm.
knowing that you're not, because I always just thought I was weird.
Yeah.
I just thought everyone else has got their shit together in
Yeah.
life. I've got everything that, and I was doing very well in my career and everything. I earned a lot more money than most of my friends. So on the outside, they thought I had this wonderful life. I was jet setting and
Hmm.
driving a nice car and doing all these things. But
Yeah.
yeah, I hid myself in that for a long time and then it just stopped feeling right.
Mm.
Because I believe I knew at the soul level there was something more I was should be doing. So
Mm. That's amazing. I think that's exactly the feeling that we all have, right? It's
yeah,
like we get lost in the material world for a period of time. I recognize everything that you're saying, like the workaholic, the, putting so much effort into one thing, like believing that it's going to take you somewhere, and at a certain point you realize it's not really taking you anywhere, and like you don't have your shit together, even though it seems like that from the outside, and you start to feel more and more disillusioned and like the weird person who's not like fully believing in this. and, and also, as you say, like knowing that there's something different. I remember this from a very young age, like really knowing that I was looking at the adults being like, why are you not like searching for the other piece of reality that's supposed to be here? Why are we just focusing on, the material stuff? There's something else that we're supposed to look for. And so I carried that with me, just like you, my whole life.
yeah,
So it's like a coming home to ourselves, essentially.
it
That's what
is.
it feels like to me.
Yeah. But that's quite scary, I would say. Although, was it scary? I mean, like going from living this life, and you do change as a person. So the people around you are kind of think you're a bit weird. Oh, Roy's into meditating now,
Yeah.
or he's doing whatever.
He
So
never
yeah,
meets us at the pub anymore. He's such a bore.
yeah,
Yeah,
and even with the material stuff, like my family and friends thought that I'd lost my mind when I lost my job, but I had so many opportunities to go back into that line of work and earn even more money.
sure.
And I didn't want to do it. So everyone around me thought that I had gone completely crazy. I'd built this career up and all
Yeah.
this experience and
Yeah.
earning lots of money, and I just decided I didn't want to do that anymore.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah, that's part of it too, I would say, of the journey that you described before.
yeah,
The exterior world, thinking that you lost your mind for a period of time. And also alongside with that, as you mentioned, some part of your social circles start to fall away.
yeah,
And what I've noticed too in my own life is in a way, some family members and social connections started falling away even earlier, if you know what I mean. Like even
yeah,
before I fully stepped into the person that I, continually am involving into. It's almost like as if the universe, put those people to the side so that it was like easier for me to fully step into that place.
yeah, without a doubt. In fact, I blew up a lot of my friend groups before I even realized I was on this journey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I felt undervalued and things, so I got rid of I just people I'd known for 20 years.
Yeah.
I it was sort of it was like I'm not dealing with this anymore.
Yeah.
This is the end of this.
Yeah.
And
That's the feeling, right?
I do speak to a couple of them now again
Hmm.
after I've come through a lot of stuff. But yeah, I did just
Yeah.
yeah. From the outside, I probably looked like a maniac
Yeah.
because I was just going around like I just changed.
So
Uh,
quickly.
yeah, I just blew everything up
Yeah.
basically, and it felt like I was starting again.
Yeah. It's almost like, I mean, this is such a, it's almost like you're reborn, right? And
Yeah,
I don't want to talk about it as a Christian thing, but it's as if you're this new person with this new potential, this new up, it's like it's almost like it has to get a little barren, at a period of time because you're rebuilding yourself, you're refiguring out who you are. So it's a little empty in that beginning stage.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But wouldn't the thing that just come to me now, because obviously there are people who perhaps are having these feelings or don't know where they are, what they're doing.
Yeah.
Just this is the purpose of everything that we're doing, or it's my purpose with my YouTube channel and things like
Yes.
that. Just to get the message out and say,
Hmm.
look, it's okay. This will pass.
Hmm.
Just surround yourself with people who are on the same path.
Yeah. Yeah. And even on the absolute worst days, when you're possibly considering, ending your own life, like don't, because it will pass, like you said. And even
Yeah,
if those days are like 3 months in a row where you feel like your lowest low and you feel like there's no way out, it's still gonna pass. It
yeah,
doesn't feel like it at the time, but it will. And you're gonna come out on the other side being a brand new person. And it's quite a beautiful experience in the same lifetime to be
yeah,
a brand new person. To almost like it's, I don't want to call it like a second chance, but it's like a second opportunity to figure things out again completely from scratch. And it's weird, it's interesting, but it's like so rewarding.
yeah,
And even the steps when you're like crawling out of that deep hole that you were in and you start to like stumble like Bambi on ice or something, and those like first initial steps, like they're awkward, but it starts to feel liberating, like you're starting to make your own choices, right?
yeah. Yeah, it opens you up to a new world, as you say,
It
doesn't it? It's
does.
just like,
Yeah. And your body's going to act different. Your mind is going to act different. And on certain days, it's going to feel like you don't know what reality is anymore.
yeah,
Like even
yeah,
now, like I just had this conversation with a friend of like, some of the like symptoms that, that I experience that the collective is going through right now. It's like you don't know. the time seems to fluctuate, right? You don't know, like all of a sudden it goes fast, it goes slow. It's like that's an experience that you're having. At the same time, it's like you kind of feel like you're forgetting things. Your brain is being rewired into accepting new realities and so on. So it's like a continual journey of accepting that your whole it's like almost your whole biology is being rewired, you know? I follow this, or I love this spiritual teacher called Adi Ashanti, and he was explaining it once as like he felt as if, those old like telephone centers where they used to put the wires in as you
Yeah.
called, like, oh, we'll connect you over here and whatever. When the awakening happening to him, he felt like all of those were unplugged. The whole
Wow.
monster thing was like removed, another piece was put in, and everything was rewired. Yeah. But
Wow.
then as that process is happening, you're going to experience a void, right? Because for a
Yeah.
moment, period of time, there's nothing there. There's no wires, there's no connections. Like and your mind is aware enough to be like, okay, this is not normal. Like this is weird. Why can't I make decisions? Why can't I do things the way I'm supposed to? And then you start to freak out.
Yeah.
But that's going to pass too.
Yeah. It does. I suppose at that beginning point, you haven't got a clue what's going on, and it's like this is really scary. I don't know what to do or where to go. And I think maybe I would say for myself that's where the suicidal thoughts came in because I just thought my life it just means nothing anymore.
Yeah.
Um, but as you say, it passes, and you go through all these. Well, I think it's a never-ending cycle, really, isn't it? We always
Yeah.
kind of it's that spiral. I love that spiral.
Hmm.
Um, we don't complete a lesson. We just kind of gain a little bit of consciousness every time. So
Yeah. It's like it's a continual, infinite unfolding of awareness.
yeah,
It never stops. There's always the possibility to go deeper and to go higher, as you just showed with that spiral.
yeah,
But I would say that at a certain point, once you've completed that spiral a few times, then you start to receive the awareness of the fact that it's
yeah,
going on, and you start to develop language through communities, through other people, through watching other people's experience, perhaps, and reading books and so on. And you start to feel like, okay, I now understand a little bit what's going on in my
yeah.
experience. And then it becomes easier and more fun also.
Oh, yeah, without doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, things start to make more sense, and you experience things, don't you? And then you're like, ah,
Hmm.
I've had
Look
this
at
before,
that.
but I didn't know what that was.
I know. Exactly. And then you get to the point where you have the opportunity to respond instead of react, right? So
Yeah,
something happens in your life and you're like, oh, that seems sucky, right? It's like it's this awful thing. And you're like, okay, let me see if I can sit with this for a while and have the opportunity to figure out what lesson does it contain for me versus being like, I can't believe this just happened to me. And this is the worst thing that, oh, right? That. So it's this endless opportunity for learning.
yeah, yeah, it really is. It's yeah, it's frustrating at times, but it's so exciting when yeah, you just realize that you've got this whole universe as like a play area, I suppose,
Hmm.
just to
Hmm. To like figure things out.
yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah, instead of that tunnel vision of
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
oh, it's Monday again, off to work I go. And that becomes your whole life, doesn't it? It's
Right.
like, yeah, get home, have a
Yeah.
bottle of wine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then yeah, when you've lived that for years, and that's what my parents did as well. So it's just the normality, isn't it?
Absolutely. And that's, it's good that you're bringing that up because that's the reality that we grew up in, and that's the reality that our parents grew up in, and so on and so forth, like throughout the lineages. So it's a moment in time where, in my experience, a lot of people are waking up and experiencing a completely different like change from as far back as you can perceive in your ancestry. There hasn't been this for most people, right? There's been obviously masters and gurus and so on throughout the eons, but right now it seems like there's this a lot of people are getting the experience of being allowed to step out of this I don't know what to call it, the tunnel vision as you
Yeah,
described it.
yeah, and with obviously years ago they were the gurus in India and things, so
Yes.
you have to have the money and the opportunities to travel to those places to
Yeah.
meet those. But now with the internet,
Yeah.
it's just like it's that consciousness is just going to spread so rapidly, I believe.
Yeah.
And then, like, if we do work on ourselves, that ripples out to the other people around us as
Mm-hmm.
well.
Mm-hmm.
Even if, because I've got friends who just think it's a load of rubbish,
Yeah. Yeah.
but when I speak to them, some of them are quite inquisitive. They're like, "Oh, so what about this? What about that?" And
Mm.
it's interesting. It's just letting them kind of, because
Yeah.
I know I was there one not even that long ago. I didn't believe any of this,
I
so
know.
it's kind of like then just by them seeing and feeling the change in you, it
Mm-hmm.
makes them think, perhaps there's
Mm-hmm.
something in this,
Yes.
even if they don't want to admit it.
I know. Well, it's they can feel your energy, and
Yeah,
they can probably also see that you seem more at peace, more relaxed, more like in tune with yourself. Like you can actually see in another person in their eyes that they're different, right?
yeah.
And so that brings about the first level of curiosity, as you described, which is like, so what are you doing? Can I get some of that, right? And then you start to try to explain, and as people are ready, they will, you know, take the journey themselves. But I really do believe that as we're like spreading our energy, it affects every single person. Like when I sit down to meditate, I'm not just meditating for me. When I'm releasing trauma, when I'm doing inner child work, I'm not just doing it for me. And I've
No,
had this experience for many years now that, it's important that we're doing it because that's what's bringing about the change for every single person. And they get affected whether they know it or not.
yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that vibration is getting raised through even if you're not doing that kind of work, is your vibration is just naturally getting raised. I love that.
it is. Yeah. And that's not me saying that. It's many, many, many people
Yeah,
saying that
yeah, yeah. No,
I
it makes a
really
lot of
trust.
sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can actually start to see it because think of things like yoga, right? That was brought to the West and it became hugely popular. Most people who practice this probably don't know what its purpose is. It is to allow you to come into awareness, right? But even as if you go to yoga every Tuesday, you have no clue, right? It's still going to bring about this awareness in your body as you're doing it and slowly
Yeah,
start to raise your awareness, even if you don't even know that that's what you're doing.
that's incredible, isn't it? I've
Yeah.
never thought of yoga like that, to be honest,
Yeah.
before.
Yeah. It's incredible. It's bringing awareness back into your body, and you're breathing in a certain rhythm along with whatever positions that you're doing, sun salutations or whatever it may be, and you can actually start to feel that energy move through your body, right?
Yeah,
And then as you're doing certain stretches and so on, you're like your awareness is so seldom on your own body these days, right? Unless we have like a pain, right? It hurts, then we're always complaining, oh, my shoulder hurts, right? But otherwise, we're not really focused on our body. But if you're doing like an hour and a half of yoga, your attention is always on your body.
yeah.
So that in itself just brings about a deepening of your awareness of your own, of your own being.
Yeah. I've never got fully into yoga. I have done yoga from time to time,
Mhm.
but that makes a lot of sense. It's like with like even with meditation, that's
Yes.
what that teaches you to do, isn't it? To
Yes.
kind of quieten your mind and
Yeah.
get into your body.
Yoga is
Yeah,
just one example. There's,
yeah, yeah,
meditation, there's a million different things
yeah. Of
that
course, yeah,
that are very commonplace now. Like, everyone is doing it, so to speak, right? And that brings about a higher level of awareness throughout all of society.
yeah.
So it makes a big difference.
That's incredible, isn't it? That
Mm-hmm.
people are kind of doing this work without even realizing they're doing
Mm-hmm.
it, and
Mm-hmm.
obviously getting the benefits from it as well. So
Exactly. Exactly. So there's so many exciting things happening right now. There's a reason why we're here.
yeah, yeah. It's an exciting place to be, isn't it?
It is.
Just to yeah. Well, surrender is something that I'm trying at the moment quite a lot,
Mm-hmm.
rather than because even yeah, you live your life with that push, push, push mentality, and
Mm-hmm.
even with the things that I want to do now in my spiritual space,
Yes.
I've been doing the thing with that. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, it's like allowing to receive also instead of just putting things energy out there, you're also allowing yourself to receive energy back. And it's somebody that I spoke to just the other week explained it so beautifully. He said, okay, so you're focusing on all this manifestation, right? It's like you're trying to bring whatever it is that you're trying to bring. But he said, but are you focusing on how much you're allowing yourself to receive?
mm,
How open are you to receiving that? And how open is your heart to receive that? And when he said that, I was just like, that's so beautiful because you have to complete that loop of sending out, receiving back, sending out, receiving back. And it's like we have to do both. And it's like a continual cycle of just beautiful interchanging of energies between people.
yeah,
And I think
I
within
love that.
myself, yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to. Within myself, I've realized I have such a hard time asking for help, right? I'm okay with giving help, but
Yeah,
have a really hard time asking. So if I have a hard time asking, maybe it doesn't allow me to fully give as much as I should be either, if that makes sense. Because I'm not allowing it the input. I'm just allowing the output.
no, I really identify with that actually.
Yeah.
And for me as well, the one thing that's always come up is because I've always given so much, and then I've always felt like when I need something, nobody's around. I've always had that kind of, but obviously I'm not open to receiving. I don't
Hmm.
feel comfortable receiving. So,
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
and then the resentment and the frustration kicks in, and it's like, well, I do everything for everyone, and nobody
Yeah.
does anything for me.
And that's like the beautiful sign that we're getting from the universe. Like, hey, there's something you need to look at here.
Yeah,
This is for you. This gift has been presented to you today. So it's turning our attention from that outside material world into our interior world and realizing, okay, this is happening for me. There's something messaging me here that maybe I haven't even asked them. Maybe they don't even know that I need something. I just assume that they know because I need it, but maybe I haven't said, hey, could you help me with this? And then they have the opportunity to say no, but if they don't know that you need help.
no, yeah,
Only again speaking from my own experience because I expect other people to know, but how are they supposed to know?
yeah. No, I get that.
Yeah. I think, there's just so much to unpack here, but I think the absolute most important message in this is allowing other people to understand that this is a completely natural thing and that once they start to realize that something, their world, whole world is upside down and nothing makes sense anymore, very likely they're on this little trip.
Yeah,
And many, many people have walked it before them and they're going to be okay.
yeah, without a doubt. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's just about having that support network around you, isn't it? And just
Mhm.
speaking to people that are going through the same sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Reaching
Yeah,
out, being part of communities, like you said, because a lot, it could be that in your particular community, not too many other people are, but now we have Facebook and we have, all these different channels that can allow us to reach people from all over the world. And then we can start to reach the people who are, taking this adventure at the same time as we are.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's an incredible place to be, really.
it is. It really is. And also it's a different kind of journey because it doesn't necessarily materialize in like, okay, so if you have a job as a project manager or you sit down and you work on a building or whatever, and then, a few years later, there's a building there and then it's like everybody can see it. But this journey is, yes, you're making things, but it's also such a big journey for you just as a person. And the individual that you are becoming is the biggest sign that you've changed.
Yeah,
Not so much, you might not have the biggest car anymore, or you might not, right? You might not go on all these fancy vacations anymore. So there might not be like outwardly expressions yet of all these things that you're changing, but you're changing.
yeah. And those things start to make you. They don't mean as much.
Hmm.
Like I love driving around with the roof down in the car and
Hmm.
look how cool I am.
Yeah.
And now I just think what that was pointless.
Yeah.
Nobody nobody's even looking at you in that car, I can guarantee it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Everybody's too
just
busy living their own lives.
no,
I
exactly. And then
know.
with the holidays, although I had wonderful experiences, now I see the value of spending time with my dogs at home
Mm.
and going to the local beach and things like that. I think I
Mm.
find much more. And when I do go away now, I can't wait to get home because, which
Mm.
is a complete flip because
Yeah.
before I didn't want to go home. I
Right.
wanted another week of holiday. So
Yes. Oh, how interesting. Yeah. I mean, I have two reflections there. The first one is, as you said, we experience as if other people are noticing us so much, what we're doing. Like we're the center of our own galaxy, right? Where it's like,
yeah,
oh, everything's about me. And so if I'm driving in this car, everybody's seeing me. Nobody could care less, right?
no,
They don't see you in that car, or it's like they're busy living their own lives. They're busy being the center of their own universe, right? And then it's the same thing as you're saying, everything starts to get flipped on its head when once you move through a certain number of changes. It's like you start to appreciate like the simplest thing. And it sounds so like just a walk with my dog in the forest this morning before you and I met, and I was just observing like the beauty of the sunlight and just the trees, and it's just like everything's so magical. Like I was touching the ground and we were having such a beautiful time down there. That to me, it's like I am experiencing this world now. Wow.
yeah.
Look at all this magic.
It's I'm the same on dog walks. I kind of get engrossed in the trees. So
Yeah.
it's like just noticing the seeds or berries and the leaves even. It's just
Yeah.
like and I often walk past a tree maybe and think nobody truly sees you, do they?
Mm.
Because we're just in this like fast paced world
Yes.
and with birds and things, I
Yeah.
notice a lot more of nature now.
Yes.
Um, I woke up the other morning actually, and I'm quite fortunate to have trees all
Mm.
around the house.
Mm.
And I just sat on the edge of the bed and I looked out the window and I happened to see two doves in the tree.
Oh,
just kind of grooming each other and
yeah.
grooming themselves. And
Uh-huh.
I just thought, wow, just to have that, it felt like a sacred moment. It was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
I'm the only person in this world that can see
I
this
know.
event going on, and it's just incredible.
I know. And also, sometimes, when there are moments like that, I deeply realized that if I was busy doing something else, trapped in my mind, trying to get to work, I would have missed it completely.
Yeah,
If I wasn't present for that moment, because you sat down and you actually looked, if you were instead hurrying up to get to the bathroom or something, you would have completely missed it. And that
yeah,
makes it feel so sacred to me. It's like I got to see that. It's so
yeah,
incredible. It's like I'm out and this little fly will land on my hand or something. And I'll be like, "Oh, hey, so what's going on with you today?" You know?
yeah,
And like it's almost like as if they can feel that you're seeing them and they stay longer and it's sometimes they give you a message too. I know I'm sounding all nutty now, but it's like once you start to tune into nature and say, I see you, I hear you, do you have messages for me? I love you. Then all of a sudden you start to see these amazing things.
yeah.
I don't know if I told you this story. I was reading a book and this little bug landed on the book in the actual page. And I was looking at it and I was just like, wow, that's really incredible. I don't really know if I've seen this, bug before. And it stopped and paused for me to like slow down. And then it started moving across these words. And I read the words and it was like a message for me. It was
Wow,
crawling diagonally across, first this and then up and then as it knew that I received the message, it flew away.
wow.
And I was like, whoa. It made a new sentence
Yeah,
that didn't exist in the book by crawling over those specific words.
wow, that's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's like if you don't believe in this stuff or if you don't have the time to slow down, you would have just been like brushing this bug away, like, what are you doing in my book, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah,
some people that are listening to it might be like, yeah, that sounds crazy. But it's actually like when you're in the moment, you can feel that it's for you. You feel that that message is exactly for you. And it's like it's all around us. It's all around us,
yeah,
you know? Every single thing is trying to communicate to you.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm going to be holding my book out, waiting for bugs to give me a
It
message.
has never happened to me. Okay, as I'm aware of, it has never happened to me.
Yeah,
Right? I'm probably would have. I was the person who was like trying to chase the bug off, right?
yeah,
Before, but now I'm starting to pay attention. So just the other day, a spider came when I was reading another book. So I just let the spider climb up and down in the book, and I was just like watching him. Oh, look, now you're making a thread. Oh, that's how you climb. Oh, that's really amazing, right? He stuck around in the book for the longest time, just hung
wow,
around with me. But so I think it's because before I wasn't noticing it.
yeah,
I wasn't ready for that, message. I wasn't ready to see anything. But once you start to open yourself up to that, you can get a message in 1,000 different ways.
yeah, that's very true. Wow.
Um, I guess that's the other world that we're talking about, the other world of experience.
Yeah, yeah, and just I look out now at I'm amazed by trees. I just, yeah,
Yeah. Well, they're the carriers of wisdom, ancient traditions like um, the shamans, and they really believed that the trees were holding all this ancient information, and that's the tree of life and all of that, and they really have the ability to communicate to each other, to communicate with you. So
yeah,
they are very sacred and they are extremely wise, and so tree hugging, I understand now why that's the thing, because it's a thing.
yeah. And I've never hugged a tree actually. I usually put my hand on them, but
Mm,
tree huggers used to, well, I don't know if they still do, but people just used to make fun of them, didn't they?
yeah,
And I think
yeah,
that's, yeah, society tends to do that, or
yeah,
it's normalized, isn't it? If
yeah,
you're not following the herd, then you
yeah.
must be a conspiracy theorist or
Okay.
some sort of weirdo.
Yeah.
Stay away from them.
New age woo woo, right?
Yes, it's
Yeah,
like, yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, it's easier to make fun of the things that you don't understand because then you don't have to actually investigate it.
yeah,
You know, it doesn't it doesn't need to influence your reality, right? You don't have to start questioning things. You don't have to start scratching the surface of things and so on. And so that's why, and as you mentioned early on the conversation, and absolutely me too, that's why you start to like, that's just, they're just silly. Like that's not real, right? Because it's a defense mechanism,
yeah,
you know.
yeah, yeah. But it does scare me a bit that a large portion of society, and I've been there myself, are just being
Hmm.
led down this path,
Hmm.
following blindly
Hmm.
what we're being told, basically. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. There are moments where I feel very concerned about that as well.
yeah,
But I guess we have to remind ourselves that we were there too, and
oh yeah, without a doubt, yeah,
if we can, wake up and see a different world, then so can other people.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's not like we grew up in this world, in this like with this understanding.
No, not at
It's
all.
come about. Obviously, you've been on a longer journey than me, but it has come into our lives at the time that we needed it, and
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. And and I think I've actually never met a person who tells me that, oh, their parents were completely awake and that
yeah,
they were, taught this stuff when they were children and things like that. Oh, my mom was a shaman. No, that doesn't, I've never heard that. I'm sure those
no,
people exist, but I've never heard that. No, people I spoke to, they all grew up in like normal families with 9 to 5 jobs and all the programming that, the society is involved with. Um,
yeah,
I'm very fortunate. My mother started down a journey when I was like a teenager or so. So she started realizing things in the material world for herself, mostly when it comes to food and diet and so on, like what was working and not working for her. But that allowed me to like at least start to realize that there could be something different, that maybe amalgam in your teeth is not a good thing, for example. Like that's the road that she took, and
yeah,
so that made it a little bit easier for me to start to question things, but I didn't grow up with awakened parents. Far from
no,
it, actually. Hope they're not
Same.
listening.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
So how are you feeling? You think this is a good way? Do you want to leave on any like final message for somebody who's in this right now, maybe a little bit further, behind you, that you can reach out a hand and say something, you know, supporting, that they can feel that this is something that they can manage and do.
yeah. It is tough. It's not an easy journey in any way, and I, yeah, you get caught off guard no matter how long you've been doing this. But just, I would just recommend anyone who's like on a similar path to me, just to find that community of people that are doing the same stuff, or the what you find in communities is you get people who've been doing this for 20, 30 years, and then someone who has only just come across it. So you get an experience. And I think for me, that community combined with coaching,
Mm.
combined with learning, reading books, watching YouTube and everything,
Yeah.
that really accelerated my journey far more than if well, I don't know how I would have gone about it on my own, to be honest. So
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I really thank you for saying that because also we are social beings, right?
yeah,
So feeling like we belong somewhere else, even when the whole world is upside down and you feel like you don't even know what to do or how to think or use your brain, then that's super helpful to know that other people have gone through it and other people are going through it.
yeah,
So yeah, thank you for that. I think that's a very good, very, very good, to not lose hope, right? Because there's always someone who can say, no, don't worry, this is, you should maybe try this, or maybe, call me, or we can talk, or something like that. Yeah.
yeah. And the main thing I would say for me was kind of removing myself from certain situations. So I used to go out drinking
Mm.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I would drink all week as well. So
Yeah.
it takes time, I think, and you just have to be patient with yourself just to. And I did things like hypnosis and things like that, which I didn't believe in. It's ridiculous, really. I was doing these things to quit smoking and drinking, and I didn't believe in them, but they worked. So,
That's
yeah.
amazing. So you don't even have to believe in something and it works. I think that's
Well,
amazing.
yeah, the first hypnosis that I did was for smoking, and it was
Mm.
a. I had health insurance, and it came free with that.
Oh,
So I
okay.
thought I've got nothing to lose, just try it, and
Yep.
it worked. I walked out of there and didn't smoke for 5 years.
Wow.
So yeah,
Incredible.
but
Yeah.
yeah, I suppose just being open and
Mm.
it's sometimes things just feel right, don't they? And you don't fully know why you're following this, but
Hmm.
it feels right. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Trusting that feeling in your body, it's trying to guide you in the right
yeah,
direction for sure. And also trusting your own experience. That's what I would say is really good. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm. Well, thank you
Yeah.
so much. Yeah.
Thank you. It
Did you
was
want to
lovely to
say
speak to you.
something else? Felt like I interrupted you.
No, I can't think what I was going to say.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Okay, Roy. Well, thank you for this beautiful conversation and thank you for being here and sharing your experience so openly and like, just vulnerably because a lot of things that you said could potentially feel like, oh, I can't say this because what are people going to think? But you start to move past those things also as you develop into a new person. Yeah. So I thank you for sharing and for being who you are.
Thank you for having me. It's lovely to be here. Thank you, Marie.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
Okay. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.